2023, it gave us plenty of new things. Grimace shakes, Barbenheimer, and a Taylor Swift NFL collab that no one saw coming. But it also is taking things away. Get ready to pour one out because there's over 20 cars they're killing off this year. And I'll get started with one that I actually owned and loved. Yes, the R8 was Audi's foray into supercar territory. It's a mid-engine modern classic, and with Audi's hallmark Quattro all-wheel drive system, it's a supercar that can handle driving all year round. But alas, Audi is closing the curtain on the R8. So if you got the same taste as me and Tony Stark, hop in one before it's too late. Also, the R8's big bull energy brother, the Huracan, is officially dead. The last Huracan ever made is already sold, so if you ever wanted one brand new, unfortunately, time is up, folks. Guess you're just gonna have to settle for a used one. And guys, it's not just supercars that are coming to an end. Cars like the Kia Rio, the Jeep Cherokee, Jeep Renegade, Ford Edge, Ford Explorer Hybrid, the Lincoln Aviator Grand Touring plug-in, and the Dodge Durango. And one that I'm sure tailgated you all the way home, the Nissan Maxima. The terror on the streets. Okay, it's actually the Altima that's usually getting all the bad press, but Maxima drivers are just as bad. There's nothing as classic as a Nissan sedan wreaking havoc on the highway, but Nissan is pulling the plug on these puppies come 2024, and rumor has it the Altima will be sunsetted in 2025. And you can be sure that it won't be long until they're all a rare breed, seeing that the average Maxima drivers are about as unsafe as a lit match in a firework factory. It's the end of the road for these modern legends, but at least they're not going out with a whimper. The last call, you know, the 1000 horsepower plus edition of the Demon, might be one of the most unhinged vehicles the madmen at Mopar have ever produced. Sadly, the sun is finally setting on internal combustion muscle, and engines as a whole. Yes, because gone too will be the Chevy Camaro. Although GM and Chevy have announced that they're going to extend the run of the production of the Mustang Killer through 2024, the 4-cylinder turbocharged version is already axed. Its bigger V6 and V8 brethren will likely phase out next year, and it's likely that the next car the Camaro badge actually wears will be an SUV. So if you've ever wanted to rip Burnout's blasting Freebird guitar solo paired with an American V8, well, get on it as soon as you can, because this era is coming to a close. And guys, speaking of V8s, this V8 powered Italian stallion is being put to the pasture. The fate of the F8 is sealed. See what I did there? Now, this Ferrari might have lived in the shadow of the 812 Superfast and the SF90 Stradale, but it's still a Ferrari supercar. Heck, it's a 10-second car right from the factory. And hey, with Ferrari looking like they're all aboard with the hybrid performance train, maybe the F8 will go down in history as one of the last truly great Ferrari internal combustion cars. So jump on this prancing horse while they're still around. Man, this one stings. You know, the Kia Stinger might have gone under the radar for some enthusiasts, but it's an incredible value performance car. And that shouldn't have been a surprise since it was largely engineered by Albert Biermann, you know, one of the minds behind the BMW M program. Now, the Kia Hyundai lineup has the N series of cars to lean on for honorable performance fun, but we're gonna miss this underrated speedy little luxury gem. Chrysler is shrinking their massive lineup of cars from 2, yeah, count them, 1, 2, to 1. That's right, the 300 is getting the axe. In fact, the last one just rolled off the production line. The car that's imported from Detroit has reached the end of the road. And while we did get some of the SRT editions of the 300 in its lifetime, there's just no last call edition, no fanfare, just the cold dark void. RIP to a real one. Well, with a name that long, I can see why they're getting rid of it. But while the Panamera might be controversial for enthusiasts, the Turbo S Sport Turismo is low-key the absolute wild child. When it was released, it was the most powerful estate car, bone stock. With over 600 horses, 196 mile/hour top speed, and a sweet sounding twin turbocharged V8 hooked up to an electric motor, this thing not only hauls the mail, but it also will take down pretty much every one of your favorite supercars. And I know it's silly to call any type of Porsche a sleeper, but this thing kind of was. I guess it was slept on way too much because enthusiasts didn't buy them, and Porsche is calling it this year. In addition to the R8, the TT is also being shown the door. At least Audi is sending it off right with a beautiful final edition. This was a car that made the 2-seater roadster and coupe viable in all kinds of weather conditions thanks to Audi's beautiful Quattro all-wheel drive. And love it or hate it, its design is absolutely iconic, and we're sad to see it go. The McLaren 720S snowboard trick. It's no slouch. It's a 710 pony mid-engine supercar that zips to 60 in under 3 seconds, 120 in 7. It proved to the world that McLaren still has the chops to put the super in supercars. Thankfully, McLaren took everything great about the 720 and just pushed it further with the 750S. That is a looker, which will take the mantle next year. Now, there won't be many enthusiasts sad to see the Chevy Bolt go, but honestly, it's one of the few entry-level priced EVs on the market and helped usher us into the EV era. GM even partnered with tech powerhouse LG to develop everything needed to produce it. Chevy added the EUV Bolt to the market just 2 years ago, but both are getting the axe this year. And word on the street is that Chevy plans to fill the gap with an EV Equinox. And here's another one that you probably didn't see coming. Heck, you might not have even known the name of this work van. The Ford Transit Connect is part of the compact commercial van segment, a segment Ford was responsible for helping invent way back in the day. Look, I know it's just a commercial van, but it's a little bit sad to see the blue oval, making absolute workhorse vehicles and putting them out to the pasture. Ford has had to rejigger a lot of its production around, and the Transit Connect is getting lost in the shuffle along with the Explorer Hybrid and its Lincoln Aviator plug-in counterpart. Mazda, yes, the car company that goes zoom zoom, is closing the curtain on these two crossover SUVs. Both the CX-9 and MX-30 are going away of the doo-doo, or dodo. But new offerings from Mazda, well, they take their place. You got the CX-5, the CX-30, the CX-50, and the CX-90 representing all the SUVs, while the Mazda 3 and of course the Miata represent the smaller offerings. And it's always interesting what Mazda is up to. They're not quite a luxury brand, but they do position themselves like they are. They mostly make, what else? Crossover SUVs, and yet the Miata is still the heart and soul of the company. We're all here just wishing, waiting, and hoping for a rotary or perhaps a rotary hybrid sports car. But hey, we'd also take their new inline-6 engine in a luxury sedan. So, you hear that, Mazda? Give BMW M a run for their money. Mercedes has announced a timeline to sunset many of their coupes, their sedans, and their wagons over the next few years. Come to the end of 2023, the CLS class is being discontinued entirely. Headed to the chopping block in 2024 are the C-Class and E-Class coupes and convertibles, and the smallest Benz van, the Metris, is also discontinued for the US market. We understand crossover and full-size SUVs have taken over sedans as everyday drivers for most buyers, but we're still sad to see them go. At least Mercedes-Benz has also announced that they're going to give more priority to AMG and Maybach, which, as enthusiasts, we have to be excited about. Heck, Merc is totally going bonkers with the 6x6 G-Class pickup. Well, there you have it, nearly 20 vehicles being killed off and not saving internal combustion engines. Which ones do you wish that they stayed around for a few more years? Let me know in the comments below. Also, any cars from around the globe that we missed? Well, you know what to do. And hey, if you're new here, do me a favor, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and check out this Ideal vid up here, or whatever YouTube recommends you watch next down here. I'm Brad, this is Ideal, and promise me one thing, keep living the Ideal lifestyle.